So the next thing we're going to have a look at is a feature called Next Suggested Gift. So this feature allows you to display a custom ask string to supporters based on prior giving to your organization. You can use a supporter's highest previous contribution or most recent contribution to define that next suggested gift number and then build a string around it. If we go to the next. In terms of setting up next suggested gift, it's actually the first thing you're going to need to do is actually enable the feature. So that's like an account setting. So hello, account settings, previous contribution. And you would want to enable the feature. And then once the feature is enabled, you then need to determine what data the platform should use to define a supporter's highest previous contribution or most recent contribution. So you can use data from Engaging Networks. So that's like real transactions from your Engaging Networks account. Or you can also choose to import data. So maybe you have data that you want to import from offline donations. You can choose also to use that. If you choose the option for Engaging Networks transactional data, you will also be able to define the time frame for when transactions should be referenced, as well as the transaction types. And so you can toggle on and off different page types. So maybe, for example, you have the events module, but you don't want those transactions to be considered in a supporter's highest previous contribution. You can toggle those types on and off. Once you've actually then enabled previous contribution, you would actually be able to build out the next suggested gift component. So that is, again, a page component. So it's going to be under pages and components. And you can see here a bit, but basically you're going to define the next suggested gift using either HPC or MRC, and then you can build the string out around that value. And so in this case, we have a highest previous contribution plus 100%, so effectively doubling the highest previous contribution is that next suggested gift value, so that's this value. And then we've built out additional amounts around that. Once you actually build out your ranges and have created that component, you would then need to actually apply it on your page. And so on a form, you would edit a form block, and then in the donation amount field, we'll have an available checkbox to enable next suggested gift, and then you would also be able to select your, the string that you just created in the component section. Obviously, supporters would need to have a value for highest previous contribution or most recent contribution to be served the next suggested gift string. And they'll see that custom string on the page. And then also to note, it can also be used in emails. So you can have text in your email that says something like, would you consider giving, and then that custom NSG value. And then that can be linkable text that would take them then to the donation page as well. In terms of user journey for next suggested gift, supporters can either come to the page from an email to be served that custom string, or they could also be coming from another Engaging Networks page via a daisy chain. So a lot of other folks have referenced the daisy chain in their presentations, and that is kind of one that I mocked up here. So we just have a option to sign a petition. We have a very simple petition page. And then I'm going to go ahead and sign the petition, and it's going to take us then to a donation page that has sort of been formatted more of like a thank you page. And we're asking them basically to share or also to donate. And then you'll see these are a custom ask string based on I think highest previous contribution of like 1,500 pounds. Another thing to note is that you can also support different strings based on monthly or based on recurring or one time. So that's something to note as well. You'll see those amounts update.